and welcome to the Reparenting Daily podcast. In this podcast, we'll dive deep into reparenting, exploring all of the tools and resources that you'll need to help you along your journey. This podcast is divided into 3 sections. First is a daily reading. Second is a discussion on the reading followed by journal prompts. And the last section is a peaceful meditation for closing. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from whenever and wherever you're joining us. Thanks for being here for another day of reparenting. We are going back to the I Ching today, the Book of Changes. Today we're on 13. It's called Fellowship with Others. Fellowship with others embody the principle of the sage. This hexagram addresses a proper basis for relationships with others. It generally comes as a sign that some kind of self-correction is in order in this area. Proper relationships, whether in love, work, family, or friendships, must be founded on and conducted under proper principles in order to succeed. Our model for how to behave with others is the sage. In relating with others, we are obliged to practice kindness, humility, correctness, equanimity, and openness. Whenever we depart from these, we lose the aid of the higher power and risk an encounter with misfortune. The fundamental rule of the I Ching for the conduction of relationships is that they take place in the open. That means that every facet of the relationship should be seen as fair and correct by everyone concerned, not just yourself. It also means that it is improper to enter into or continue in a relationship with unspoken reservations or hidden intentions. Exceptional things that can be accomplished by those who come together correctly in fellowship, now under the guidance of the enlightened leader or leaders. Seek that rule by patterning yourself after the sage. Meet others halfway in a spirit of sincerity and receptivity. Give trust where it is due. Where it is not, do not resort to harshness. Reserve and reticence are adequate measures. Avoid the formation of fractions and cliques, and correct your errors in relationships as soon as you become aware of them. In this way, you can accomplish magnificent deeds now. The first line, hidden intentions or agendas of the ego prevent proper fellowship. Meet in the open without ambitions, and cling to what is correct. Second line, do not form factions either by excluding others or by failing to correct yourself in some way. Misfortune results when unity and truth are ignored. Third line, mistrust and secrets are only kept to more mistrust. Mistrust and secrets only lead to more mistrust and secrets. No good comes of this. Turn matters over to the sage and follow his guidance. Fourth line, do not continue to fight and quarrel. It is better to disengage and separate. Perseverance in proper principles brings success in spite of all other influences. Fifth line, an outward separation will come to an end in time. What is important now is to remain united in your heart with another. The path leads to happiness. Reservation. Line 6 in the last line. Reservation about the wisdom of the sage prevent true fellowships. When you eliminate these in yourself, many doors are opened. Thank you, and that's the reading for today. Hi guys, welcome back. We're going to be taking a look at the I Ching. Also, I forgot to mention when I started the podcast, give us a like, subscribe, share, comment, and follow wherever you're listening. And a 5-star review on Apple and Podcast would be the most sincerely appreciated, as it helps us to share the podcast and spread the word. And also, if you didn't know, we now have a Patreon going where we meet twice weekly on Monday and Thursday. You can check out the website in the community tab and the Patreon to find out more information there. Send me an email if you have any questions, but we meet twice weekly on Zoom now in the evenings, Central Eastern European time. As we look at the I Ching and this number 13, fellowship with others, it's quite a paradox if we compare it to the power dynamics and the 48 laws of power readings that we had a few days ago. But nevertheless, even in the power dynamics reading, you might recall that they said it's necessary for us to have at least some healthy, balanced relationships, and perhaps the more gaming, toxic power games are for our enjoyment with others. Take that how you will, but that is one way that the website explained it as we try to understand how the universe is working. And again, in that The One You Feed podcast from October 11th, Living Creatively, that episode, talks about how there are two energy sources in the world, how our universe is really, our world that we're living is like Star Wars, the dark force and the light force. Which force do you want to draw from? That is the balance we have in this world. And so today, reflect on the nature of your relationships. Are you aligned with the dark force or the light force, with Darth Vader? Or you're aligned with light and love and peace and joy and expansion? It's challenging the way the world is going, but you have the right and the ability to choose your own values and to live by those. Be the most fulfillment. And it's your prerogative. I think that's one thing as we're reflecting over the reparenting journey, how it differs from being parented is when you are parented, parented incorrectly, you could have a dogma forced upon you, but there is still some general guidance or footlines. But as you're reparenting, you're really open to so many different ideas, perhaps. So it becomes even more important to be mindful of how you're choosing to reparent yourself. What ideas are you reimplanting? Because there are so many different options and ways to reparent yourself, and different ideas and concepts and understandings that you can embrace, for example, to heal your inner child and even to reduce your pain. And lastly, as you journal today, reflect on how satisfaction your fellowship with others are. If you're someone who's chosen the darker force, have you noticed that those relationships are actually not fulfilling, despite the external pleasure and satisfaction? And perhaps have you noticed, if you chose the light force, that because of the increasing level of darkness and black hole souls walking around, zombies, that your light is almost inevitably extinguished? How to protect yourself? How do you protect yourself in this scenario? It's a very important part of reparenting, refathering, and self-protection. As always, thanks for being here. Take care of yourself and do be well. And now, let us move on to the final section, the meditation. This is an unguided meditation. I will simply provide some music and you can take some time to relax. Please feel free to choose a location and a place where you feel safe and where you can be undisturbed for the next 10 minutes. You can choose to be sitting down, standing, as you like, wherever you are most comfortable. Thank you for being here and enjoy the meditation.